All right. I'll call this meeting to order of the Olentangy Schools Records Commission. We will move straight into approval of the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
No.
All right, hearing none, we'll just call for a voice vote to approve this. All in favor of the agenda as written, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right. We have no discussion items for the Records Commission meeting, so we will move straight into new business. We have 3 items for new business. I'll ask Mr. Jenkins to go through each of them briefly. The first one is recommended approval of the updated RC2 records retention schedule. Mr. Jenkins, if you could speak to that.
Yeah, so what we found, what is loaded in the content is just going to look like it's a finished product, and it's not. I'll call your attention to the areas that are changed. You will have a new section called Student Electronic Records, Websites, Social Media. And that is records numbers 344, 345, and 346. Essentially, in talking with Sam, we get requests when students have been long gone from us, maybe 2-3 years. They want every paper that they ever wrote that's hanging out on our OneDrive, maybe their emails, all of their different things, which we're not trying to take those things away from them, but if we continued to keep for, oh, this is nice, 1,800 students over the course of time who graduate each year, we would never have any space left. So what we're suggesting is that for databases or other media, servers, cloud, Google Drive, OneDrive, Outlook, for databases where we keep testing like ALEX, STMath, Lexia, Schoolology, and then for any website postings or pages or social media postings that like a student activity group would do, that those databases are kept 1 year until after the student graduates. Other media for testing, formative, summative assessments, those will be 1 year after graduation, but then websites, postings, and pages would be until superseded. Essentially, a website is good until you change it. So that's what we would do. The other change, again, in talking with Sam about some of our technology capabilities, we are clarifying that on the district side, websites, postings, and pages, and social media postings and pages are kept until superseded. Policies and procedures, we don't want to necessarily hold on to every single draft that ever existed. So we're also noting those when they're online until superseded. I mean, we wouldn't want to have, for example, the draft of this policy hanging out online forever. Once it becomes adopted, then that would be what is posted or published. The only other brief one we did was we added for Medicaid cost reports. So a few minor changes to the RC2. We'll fill it out. We'll send it to the Ohio Historical Connection. Presumably in 15 days, we'll either not hear anything back or get something that says proceed.
The only question I would have on that is if we've got policies that change over time, and we've got students who are still here, like say that we have a student who was a freshman in high school, they're now a senior, they report something that happened when they were a freshman that we have to investigate, and the policy looks a little bit different. So we may have to be under old policy language, say it's a Title IX issue or something like that. Presumably we'd still have access to those things to be able to do, or we'd still have a copy. I would just be sensitive about losing policy language that we may need later on.
Yeah, Dr. Fetty can speak to that. He keeps any and all changes. What I'm basically referring to is a forward-facing policy.
I see. Okay.
You wouldn't have to continue to post somewhere where someone could find the draft of 8310.
Right.
We have that in the archives. Dr. Fetty?
So the red lines will exist in board records when the board adopts them. And then we also do keep a version of history of the changes we make. So yeah, moving forward, we will always be able to go back to a point in time within reason and say this is what it said at that time.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I forgot. That's a great point. All of those policies will always be forever in a board agenda.
Yeah, that's right. Right, okay, good point.
So that was that first item.
Okay. Why don't we walk through this and then we'll vote on them afterwards?
Sure.
So the second one, then
Yep.
review and approval of the RC3 forms, recommended records disposals.
Yeah, that's just a simple matter of, we tried to put enough description on the file name. You can pop them all open if you want to. But each one of our buildings and/or areas within, a special ed department and/or curriculum department have gone through. They've matched their paper copies. This is almost entirely paper copies up to that RC2 records retention schedule, and are making application to us as a Records Commission to approve the disposal of those records.
Okay. Good. Any questions about any of that? Good. And then the last would be setting a date and time for the next Records Commission.
Yeah, for now, we could probably just simply say we set it for the date and time that the 2025 organizational meeting takes place. Obviously, we won't know that within the first 15 days of January, at least, is what we could say.
Okay. All right, any discussion on that? All right, so, and then any other business? Anyone?
Sam?
Good. All right, well then, I will entertain a motion to approve each of these individually. We're not doing it as a consent agenda. So first of all, entertain a motion to approve the updated RC2 records retention schedule. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second? All right, we'll take this by voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. All right, any abstentions? All right, hearing none, we'll motion pass. Moving on to review and approval of the RC3 forms, recommended records disposals. Can I have a motion to approve these?
So moved.
And I will second. Any discussion on that? All right, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Any abstentions? All right, hearing none, that motion passes. Finally, we'll move to the setting the date and time for the next Records Commission meeting of the January organizational meeting for 2025. Can I have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
And I will second it as well. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, any abstentions? All right, hearing none, we will move to adjourn. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
All right, and I will second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Any abstentions? All right, motion passes. We're adjourned.